Good morning, everybody, and welcome to On the Open. We're going to take a look at all the opening action that's occurred so far in Europe. And I have to say, it is looking negative, which is flowing over here into the United States. So let's jump right in, take a look at Germany and the DAX. Now, the DAX has had an impressive run so far in 2017. You're taking a look at the futures right now. They were looking to challenge highs that we haven't seen since 2015. Almost 2 years since we've seen these levels on the DAX. You can clearly see that the DAX right now is in a bullish trend. It's got its 20, its 50, and its 200-day moving averages in its rearview mirror. But there is some pressure this morning with the index down 1.4% early in the session. Basically, where you're seeing the weakness is in names like BASF, down about 3.1%. You're also seeing financials like Commerzbank down 2.8% and Deutsche Bank down 1.9%. You're also starting to see the automakers under pressure. You're seeing Daimler, BMW down 2% and 1.3% respectively. This is an interesting trend. We saw the infrastructure and growth-sensitive names in Asia start to get negative overnight, and we're seeing similar action here in the EU, and that could be, again, because of the fact that we're not seeing some of these plays, some of the components of the Trump administration's stimulus package moving as quickly as not only here in the United States, but as the world has been anticipating since the election and the win by President Trump. Now, also, there has been some political, speaking of politics, some political headlines that have been coming out of Germany. They have an election this spring. Chancellor Merkel, her party now is trending lower as far as approval ratings are concerned. I take those with a grain of salt. Lower than the opposition party, which is SDU. So we're going to watch this closely. We can see how the politics has really transformed the markets. We're seeing it in France. We're now seeing it heat up in Germany. Let's keep an eye on that. But again, clearly we see that the German markets have been in a clear uptrend. As a matter of fact, taking a look at EWG, which is the ETF that trades here in the U.S. markets, you're seeing that EWG, while not challenging the highs that we saw in 2015, you are seeing that it has taken over its 200-day moving average. Okay, it's well above its 50 and 200-day. Now, this is on a weekly chart. If I actually go in, and I'm going to actually change this to a daily chart, but you can see it's taken long-term support. So where the market was establishing these highs in 2015, you're starting to see the price action pick up so that those that were left behind, right, over the last year and a half in Germany and waiting for this upswing, they could have some positive momentum. They need to finish above that 2760, 2780 level with some conviction and some momentum. But if you look at it on a shorter time frame, let's just look at a 3-month chart, you're clearly seeing right now, and I'm going to scroll up here, you're going to see that the momentum is kicking in, but we have this consolidation. And as a matter of fact, if I zoom in right here, this is where the trepidation is coming in on the short term. Right here at this level of $27.80. This is the 20-day moving average, folks. A break of this moving average means that we're going to challenge the 2760 level. Right around here, 2760 level. It's very tight range. This ETF doesn't move a ton, but when it does, it has some momentum. We're going to see if the bulls are going to come in this area. It's a very tight range right now in EWG, but as I said, it doesn't move a ton. But if you start to see challenges, you could start to see a challenge in the low to mid $27 range. That's where, if you're looking for exposure in Germany, you're going to take a look there. Now, switching gears, let's take a look at France. We'll look at the ETF EWQ. Now, taking a look at the CAC, you're currently seeing that right now the CAC is trading down about 1.3%. Again, we're starting to see names like ArcelorMittal down 4.2%. This is the biggest loser right now in the session. You're also seeing growth-sensitive names under pressure, like Saint-Gobain down 2.6%. You're seeing Technip down 3.3%. You're also seeing automakers under pressure. Peugeot down 3%. You're also seeing Renault down 2%. We're continuing to see that action, and with the political situation where you have opposition parties gaining ground in France, and the data, well, you know what? So far, the data right now is basically coming in mixed with earnings. But what you're seeing here is a challenge of the 50-day. The 200-day has been trending. The short-term trend after that gap down in February in France, seeing challenging lows. It was a negative bias. The bulls took short-term control. It's been basically gravitating around the 200-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. You're going to need a ton of momentum here to get the short-term and mid-term trend to the upside. France looks to stay mixed. You're going to watch this area right here at the 25 mark. Break here means that you're going to start to see 24 and some change be challenged and maybe challenge those lows. So we're going to watch that very closely in France. And then finally, taking a look at the UK, we'll take a look at the ETF EWU. This is the ETF that tracks the United Kingdom. Currently, right now, the FTSE is trading down about 0.7%. And you're starting to see miners and financials. Not a surprise. You know, there was a big pop here as you started to see that. As a matter of fact, mortgage, they had some data come out this morning where there was new loans on mortgages had increased, and it was a lot higher than expected. You saw that financials had bumped to the upside, but in a consolidation for most of this week. You also saw miners, the infrastructure plays. The world is waiting to see what our infrastructure play is going to be. That's over $1 trillion potential stimulus package that's going to hit the markets. And that is going to really spur markets in general. You're seeing miners like Rio Tinto now, because of that, the fact that we're hearing that that plan may not be revealed as quickly as what was assumed or wanted. Rio Tinto down 1.4%. Fresnillo down 3.6%. You're also seeing some stress in the financials. RBS down 1.9% and Lloyd's Banking down 3.9%. We want to see if this is going to start to transpire and flow over into the U.S. markets today. We saw it a little bit in some of the infrastructure plays, especially in steel. But a challenge right now, if the market is going to break down, watch 32.10. As a matter of fact, 32.08 as the next level of support, and then $32. This is the area that the bulls are going to have to take back control. This is where it consolidated for most of the 2017 before it broke out, but that needs to hold and get some new buying if we break and try to fill this gap. All right, folks, that's it right now for the European opening and taking a look at all of the action here. We're going to be back at 9:30 Eastern time with all of the opening action here in the United States. We'll see you here at MarketStream.live.